Today we are going to share with you guys 10 tips on how to travel cheaply. I've been, around and about. I've traveled to a lot of different places, and as a young 20-something, I do not have a lot in my bank account.
Number one, make a budget. I know some of you might just want to go out there and try and be spontaneous, but it obviously helps to make a budget and have an idea of how much you want to spend while you're there, because otherwise you could end up spending a lot more than you hoped.
Number two, stay in youth hostels instead of hotels. Now, I know a lot of you might think that youth hostels aren't that great, but believe it or not, youth hostels have changed in the last 20 years or so. They're usually pretty cheap. In Europe, you can get them sometimes as cheap as 20 euro a night, sometimes even 15 euro a night. In South America, there was one I was only spending about $7 on per night. I used Hostel World to book my hostels. It's a really great app. You can just set up an account and then it lets you book hostels in advance, so you kind of put a down payment and you reserve the room.
Number three, make sure you put some time into planning out your plane tickets. Do some research online when's the cheapest time for you to buy those plane tickets, because the prices do vary.
Tip number four, don't eat out that often. So on our backpacking trip, we are going to a few different countries. One of them is Italy and one of them is Slovenia. And so obviously Italy is very well known for their food, so we'll want to spend a lot of our food money going out to eat at Italy. Slovenia isn't really known kind of for their foods, and so to save on money, what we'll do is we'll go to different grocery stores and buy food to make ourselves, because hostels have kitchens, which is another big plus for hostels.
Number five, extract as much money out of the ATM every time you go. There are transaction fees. There's the international transaction fee, which is anywhere from $1 to $5, and then there's also bank transaction fees. For example, we have Wells Fargo, and if we go to an ATM that's not Wells Fargo, then we could pay up to $5 for a transaction fee. So then that fee on top of the international fee can add up to $10. Make sure you take out as much as you can every time you go.
Tip number six, don't spend money on expensive tours. I know TripAdvisor, you can spend hundreds of dollars to go on this walking tour of Amsterdam, when you can just so easily go by yourself for free. Sure, you don't have some tour guide blabbing information at you, but do you honestly even care about that stuff? No. You can look up the TripAdvisor tour that you want to go on, kind of read through it to see where they go, and then plan your own. So I don't know, to me it seems to make a lot more sense to pay less money and do exactly what you want to do than pay money and go on a tour that probably has parts you don't care about.
Number seven, take buses from country to country. It's so much cheaper than flying, and a lot of these buses are overnight. It's not like you're losing any travel time. You would be sleeping anyways. You don't have to pay to check your bags. There's places for you to put your bags on the bus, obviously. It's definitely a good way to save money.
Tip number eight, use public transportation, buses and trams, rather than spending money on taxis or Uber. So last summer I went to Europe by myself for a month, and I was pretty nervous. I didn't really want to take the public transportation because it was why do that when I can just pay for an Uber? But Ubers are really expensive in Europe, and so I eventually just kind of had to put myself out there and figure out how to use the public transportation when I was in Europe. And if you're going to places like Paris or Madrid, it is very easy to figure out how to use it. And then it's only €2 to get a pass for a few hours, and it's really easy to use the different buses and the trams that they have.
Number nine, bring your own towel. Most hostels make you pay for towels, and there are places where you can buy lightweight, easily packed travel towels.
And finally, tip number 10. Wash your clothes in the shower with you instead of paying to do laundry. I was in South America for 3 months a few years ago. That's a pretty long time to go without washing your clothes. So you kind of need to wash your clothes if you're going to be on a long-term trip. The laundry can be kind of a hassle, and then you have to wait around for your clothes to be done. And then it costs money, obviously, every time that you wash your clothes and go to a laundromat. So what we ended up doing was just taking our clothes with us in the youth hostel showers and washing them in there.
Didn't you say that a lot of hostels like didn't allow it though?
There were like a lot of signs around these hostels that said, do not wash your clothes in the shower. But they're not gonna know. Just be sneaky about it. It saves so much money to not do that, and then you don't have to wait around at a laundromat for your clothes.
So that's all we got for you guys this week.
We hope that you found some useful information in here. If you guys have any other questions or need some other advice on travels, you can leave your questions down below in the comments and we will answer them. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Make sure to give us a big old thumbs up.
And subscribe. Until next time.